Hey guys, this video is kind of like, it's for the people in the beginning eating. And it gets really boring in the beginning, and you feel like you're eating the same crap over and over again. And I just went through my fitness pal and looked at what I was eating, and I'm like, oh god, I remember this. It's the same crap like every day over and over and over again. But I did find some things that I liked. I remember the first thing I ate was like a turkey meatball. I ate it with a little bit of red sauce. I don't remember how many meatballs I ate, maybe like one or two. But I just remember eating it going, oh my god, ow, 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 this hurts. And but I was so excited to eat it. I was really dying to eat my first meatball, but it still kind of hurt going down. I probably shouldn't have eaten it so early, but I did anyway. But most things I was eating was soups. Your chili, your black bean soup, whatever, you know the deal. I'm sure you've already had all that stuff. But in my chili, I would add like a little bit of fat-free sour cream, maybe a little fat-free cheddar cheese. Kraft makes a shredded fat-free cheese. And it's not that yummy, but there's just something about seeing a little bit of cheese on top of that chili that just kind of like visually it looks nice. And then there's another soup I would make where I would take some onions, dice them, saute them. Then I would add in some chicken broth, and then I would throw in all kinds of beans, like white beans, red beans, pink beans, whatever I had. Cook that for a little while, and then I'd throw in little tiny bits of turkey kielbasa. There's Hillshire Farms makes a light one, and they make a turkey, but the turkey is better for you. I think it has like less calories and probably the same amount of protein. So that's pretty good. So what I would make the soup actually before surgery, but I think my old version had potatoes in it and other vegetables. Or maybe I would sometimes put cauliflower instead of potatoes, but in the beginning you don't really eat that. There's no room for vegetables. So you just really need just like beans for your vegetables because they have protein, and your meat. So what I would do is I'd take the kielbasa, dice it up really small, throw it in that soup. And even still, at that point, that soup was still too lumpy. Later on, I can eat it, but right there, I would just kind of take the immersion blender and just blend that down till it was like kind of smooth. And then what I would do is if I made a lot of soup, I'd buy these little containers. These are going to be like lifesavers. So you make your soup ahead of time, and then you pour them in your little containers. And you open up your refrigerator and you're like, okay, I got my chilies here. I got my black bean soup. I got my whatever soup I want to eat. Because soup was nice because it felt like a meal. There was a lot of flavors. There was a lot going on. It felt like a little tiny meal, and it was enjoyable. So soups, these containers, gotta get it. These are great also because these ones I would get, they're half a cup / 4 ounce containers. And in the beginning, that's all I could do. 4 ounces was like my limit. I remember experimenting because like when you get home from the hospital, they would give me these little tiny 1 ounce cups, and I would have to drink my fluid with these little cups, so I wouldn't overdo it. But I remember kind of taking the cups and doing 1, 2, 3, 4, and I remember going, oh, that's it. Like my surgeon made my pouch 4 ounces. It was really interesting. So these little soups were great because it was just 4 ounces, and boom, I'm done, What else? Soups still. I'm still going over my soups. So I would also do a French onion soup. Surprisingly, French onion soup actually kind of has some protein in it because of the beef broth. And also if you add in maybe some cheese, there's some protein in there too. I would actually buy mine from Hannaford's. They had some frozen French onion soup, and they make like their own version of like appetizers and things, and I found it in that section. And I think it was like 220 calories and 13 protein, which seems kind of high on the calorie side. But in the beginning, you're not really eating that much anyway, or you can make your own, whatever. And then also if I got dragged to like a Chinese restaurant, I'd eat my egg drop soup. That was pretty good, eggs. But I hear some people have problems with eggs, but I think it's like more of like boiled eggs. So I never really kind of ate the eggs in the beginning. I remember everyone kind of saying to stay away from those. So I'm like, okay, I don't know. I just hear that people have problems with eggs. Stay away from the cream soups. Even though you want to eat mashed potato, don't do it, because like a half an hour later you're hungry again and there's like no room, but you're like hungry. It's really weird. Just really stick to your proteins. Really try to like make mashed potato like once every 2 weeks kind of a deal, you know. And then, you know, your cheeses, I would do like soft mozzarella. I think we had like, before I went into surgery, we had leftover like mozzarella balls that were in oil. And so I kind of patted the oil off and ate those, or I just get fresh mozzarella, the soft kind, and I put like a little pepper on there and maybe a little piece of basil leaf and eat that. Laughing Cow makes those little slivers of cheese that are, I don't even know if it's even really called cheese since it's not even, it needs to be refrigerated, but it's cheese, I guess. They have like a fat-free version, and I would just eat the cheese just like that, no cracker. If I wanted something sweet, there was also a tapioca pudding that was sugar-free in the like yogurt cheese section of the grocery store that I would get, but it only had like 4 proteins, so that wasn't something I ate all the time. But it was something that I would eat, you know. Oh yeah, back to soups. Forgot about this one. If you don't feel like cooking, this one was pretty good. You can find this in the frozen section of the grocery store. This box has 2 pouches in it, but some of these soups, they only have 1 pouch, depending on the grocery store. I don't know. So 1 pouch, 140 calories and 13 protein. And the whole thing says 15 ounces, but it's divided in 2. So it's really a lot amount of soup. And so 140 calories, 13 protein is pretty good. I probably should throw this away. It's been in my refrigerator for a long time, but maybe one day I will throw it all in a pot and add a little bit of ham or something and have that for lunch. I gotta go through my freezer. Anyhow, let's see here. Okay. Something I really, really enjoyed. I would take tilapia, put it in a baking sheet, cook it in the oven until it got really nice and soft, falling apart. And I would serve that with, I would either do fat-free mayonnaise or a low-fat mayonnaise. My husband likes the fat-free because he has no taste buds. I've said that before. I like the low-fat because I think when you go fat-free, it gets sweet. There's a sweetness. So I'll do the low-fat mayonnaise, some lime juice, and cilantro, and you kind of, you know, I'll throw that all in like this little container and use the immersion blender. And you have this delicious cilantro mayonnaise, and you put this on top of your fish, and it really helps you eat this fish. Because even though the fish is really soft, it still kind of gets stuck. You need like some kind of, when you eat meats now, you need like some kind of a gravy or sauce or something to get it down. But that was something I really, really liked, that mayonnaise and fish. What else? Okay. I really, 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 really had a really good time eating raw oysters. I've said this a few times, and people are probably like, ugh. But I never ate oysters before, and they just slide right down. They don't take up like much space. You don't feel in pain when you're eating them. You can eat like 10 of them, and it's great. I really suggest that you try them. When I eat them, I get like this high. I feel like, wow, like my body's like absorbing this food really well. Like, 'cause there's a lot of calcium, there's a lot of protein in them, and there's like hardly any calories. Like each oyster is like, I don't know, like 15 calories or something. It's crazy. I also started doing a lot of sushi, but I wouldn't eat the rice. I'd get like the sashimi. Is that how you say it? And it's just basically raw fish. Started doing a lot of that. I didn't have a good time eating like steamed mussels and steamed clams. They were like too chewy, and I'd kind of forget to chew. That was one of big things in the beginning, is that if you didn't chew good enough and it hit your stomach, oh my God, it would just be sitting in there rolling around, and you're like, oh my God. And I had to throw up all the time because I didn't chew my food enough. And I don't chew my food much more than I did, but my stomach can handle the food going down, you know, now. So that's pretty much it. You know, I just really started doing a lot of sushi, a lot more oysters, and still a lot of every day there was protein shakes, there was yogurts. I didn't want to mention those because I know everyone's sick and tired of yogurt and protein shakes, but I still every day would eat that stuff. I know it's gonna stink in the first like 2 months. It's like, oh god, I'm sick and tired of this. But then I started adding in my little crackers and cheese. And you just like start adding in like more vegetables because your stomach starts to get a little bit bigger. But in the beginning, like there's really no room for vegetables. You really just gotta just do proteins. I hope this helped. I'm sorry if it didn't, but maybe you found something you can try. Bye, guys.